Hey, welcome to another episode of The Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert BOBTV Brown. Before we get into this segment, by the end of this video, I want you to do a few things for me. First of all, if you like the video, hit the like button. Please do. If you don't like it, hit unlike. It's okay. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Sometimes, as Jimmy Dole would say, you find yourself unsubscribed and you need to make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell right next to it so you can be notified when a new video is being dropped. Whoop, there it is. And more importantly, the super chat will be on for this segment. So if you want to donate toward the efforts of Bob TV, that's freely up to you. I do have a job, but any amount will help toward the growth of this channel. And more important, let us help you help us by introducing you to a program. There's a link down below that says Equal Justice for All. You're going to click that video link, and there's some educational tutorial about a phenomenal program in America that is really making equal justice a reality for every citizen. So this program is phenomenal. The proceeds from you participating in the program will go back, 10% will go back into the Bob TV YouTube channel. So anyway, my name is Robert Brown with The Rob Report. Let's get into it. Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of Robert Report. I'm your host, Robert Bob TV Brown. It's been a long while since I've been on this microphone. Let me stop. I'm going to do a video after this talking about my experience as a union organizer for SEIU 32BJ. Now, I love that organization, don't get me wrong, but there are some pros and cons to being in that organization. Now, I'm going to tell it like a TI is because you know how I am. About working in that organization and what's my next move for is fighting more in a better capacity for the rights of workers in the working class all across America. I'm going to use this platform, Bob TV, to push a new show called Union Power. I have a Facebook group, and it is going to be dedicated to helping trade unions or any union push their agenda. If they're trying to fight against this, we're going to use this as a platform. I'll go out on the field, interview people while they're fighting and advocating for workers' rights and workforce democracy. And I'll be there talking to workers. I'll be talking to union activists. I'll be talking to politicians about the movement. So that is what I'm going to do with the Union Power Show coming soon. I already done about a few episodes, but I'm going to start focusing on it a whole lot. It's going to be one of the shows on the Bob TV network, but that is not why I'm here. I'm back, and I'm not back in my full capacity because I'm having some issues with my equipment. I know y'all hear other people talk about that because it's true. We have issues with our equipment, and I usually don't bother people about supporting me, but I did say there's a certain particular laptop I want to get my hand on with a fast processor, and that is the brand new Windows Surface Pro, and something I could carry with me with my camera and all that, where I can do what I'm going to do in the future. But nevertheless, I am here because of this guy, Fredo. That's right, Chris Cuomo, the host of Cuomo's Prime Time, Mr. Big Shot, Mr. Big Money, got on TV. And this is what Chris Cuomo had to say about Bloomberg entering into the 2020 Democratic presidential field. Now, there's an independent. If anybody need to be called a Russian puppet or running as a third party, is Bloomberg, because he's in a position to do that because he is not a Democrat, even though he leans toward Democrat. He is a lightweight Republican in Democrat clothing. He is a billionaire who's not going to look out for the working people. He never did while he was the mayor in New York. Yet Chris Cuomo is going to talk about where this man weighs in his position as a possible 2020 runner. Watch this.
My argument, Bloomberg getting in, if he does, would say more about the field than his chances of winning. This should be a wake-up call, potential confirmation of whispers in Democratic circles around the country. You've heard them. Do we have a dragon slayer in this group? Democrats may be looking at the wrong polls, as they did in 2016. Look, nationwide, the matchups look good. I get it. I've reported it. But what did we just see? Same thing we saw in 2016. In key states, Trump is tough, and he can win the same way as last time, potentially. So This news raises questions Democrats must address.
Now, before I go any further, you know, like me, I got to stop. I can't watch the video. You can watch the video on your own. I'll try to leave the link down at the below, but I got to comment on this. First of all, they're showing these whack behind skewed polls, most of them from CNN, his boss, his parent company. So they're not going to be showing the reflection of the public. And when I say the public, I mean the entire public. They're not calling everybody. They're not calling young people. They're not calling black young people. They're not calling black middle class. They're calling elderly blacks. They're calling elderly whites. They're not even calling men. So you got these skewed polls, most of them coming from universities, high-skilled elite universities up in northern New York and things like that. So Cuomo is about to paint a picture to get you to believe in this narrative. Because right now, it's all hands on deck, anybody but Bernie Sanders. And they're throwing everybody in the race. Soon as somebody get a slip and goes down, because Warren is starting to slip them. At first it was Pete Buttigieg. Well, at first it was Kamala Harris, it was Pete Buttigieg. All these people, they hit a certain point, then they drop. And Bernie Sanders is steady ready. And right now, Joe Biden talk a good game, but he really don't have the power to defeat Trump. Yet in swing states, and not just in swing states, but in red states, Bernie Sanders gets some good traction. But right now, they're anybody but Bernie Sanders. So, hey, let's try another black Obama, Duval Patrick. We tried Hispanic Obama, Julian Castro. We tried gay Obama. We tried, Pete Buttigieg. We tried a white Obama, Beto O'Rourke. We tried the female version of Obama, Amy Klobuchar, Kamala Harris. They tried everybody. And this, if we can't get a type of Obama, we'll just deal with, Senator Warren is better than Bernie Sanders, because Bernie Sanders is really going to wreck stuff up. And this is what I said, despite my position on Bernie Sanders and how he's doing with some of the black issues that I think is important he need to tackle. And if you don't tackle, if he's not going to address it and come to the black community and really spend some time with them and advocate for our needs, he don't deserve to vote. That's just how I feel it. But I will tell you this, and I feel that way about any politician, not just Bernie. I'm not into this political messiah and all that. I'm interested in what you're going to do for my community, and I need to hear you advocate for specific needs for my community, just like you advocate for specific needs of other communities. Now, I haven't heard that much from Bernie. Criminal justice is not a specific need for my community, because there's white people in jail too. All right, there's certain things that the black community need, but let me get off that. So right now it's all things but Bernie, and right now Bernie is the best chance to beat Barack Obama. I mean, not Barack Obama, but Donald Trump. But let's keep going.
Number one, is the dragon slayer in this field? No one should want a dirty fight, of course. But if you're getting into the ring with this champ, that's what you'll be facing. And the dense and hyper-ambitious M4A, Medicare for All talk, seems to miss the state of play. It's like working on pretty footwork and your style.
All right, now here's this idiot, this fool, intellectual fools, not understanding that where the Democratic Party came from. That's why it pissed me off about the Democratic Republicans turning lightweight. The Democrats becoming lightweight Republicans. They have moved so far from the center, it's ridiculous. I got video footage of Nancy Pelosi pushing Medicare for all. I got John F. Kennedy talking about Medicare for all. We have moved so far away from John F. Kennedy that if he was able to roll over, get out his grave and start hunting these fools, he would hunt them to the T, because they totally are going away from the vision of John F. Kennedy, the vision of FDR. They're totally going away from serving the people socially with social programming, that all they think about is whether somebody can win a race or not. The bottom line is this: whether Democrats win the race or not, are you going to change the system? And right now, they're not. Listen to this fool talking about Medicare for all, like it's a nasty thing that we should not touch. It's a losing strategy when everything in America is saying Medicare for all is a winning strategy. Now, people have their particular issues that's a deal breaker, and I get that. Mine is no support for the black community, no advocating for a black agenda, especially for reparations. That's a toss out for me. But yet I know the importance of Medicare for all. I know the importance of no-cost college. I know the importance of those. To some people, those are deal breakers. If you're not going to support it, then you're not going to get their vote. And I understand that. So you have to understand that if you're not going to advocate for the need of the black community, then I'm the same way. So everybody got their things that they're willing to support. But right now the subject is he's trying to downplay Medicare for all, knowing that most of the biggest debt gainers in America is the medical field.
When your opponent is standing there with a shotgun, remember, this is a big part of why Trump won in 2016.
Now,
Hillary, rotten Clinton. Rotten Clinton.
Little Marco. Lion Ted Cruz, low energy Jeb Bush. Crooked Hillary Clinton. Crazy Bernie.
Insults, not in.
All right, so he got to call insults a shotgun. No, it's not the insults that's a shotgun, bruh. It's the simple fact that you're allowing the issues not to be the shotgun. See, there is a shotgun that most people in America are willing to take and shoot it back at anybody who's trying to take away from them. Right now, Obamacare has its flaws. And the talking point of saying that somebody's trying to overturn Obamacare, trying to get rid of it and replace it is a lie. Medicare is not that. Medicare is just actually increasing or going up another level from Obamacare, which is really Romney Care, which is really a Heritage Foundation plan to give health care and still enrich the private medical industry. But here he is saying Trump is a shotgun and we ain't got nobody with a shotgun. Bruh, this election ain't about who can insult who. That's good for you guys. It's good for your ratings. But now that's not good for the American people. Let me keep going.
Sites, simple, not sophisticated. Look, Bloomberg getting in suggests not so much that he thinks he can win. I don't know where he's getting that from, but that this field can't. His top advisor said Mike is increasingly concerned that the current field of candidates is not well positioned.
I don't care what Mike Bloomberg got to say. I don't care what a millionaire who has nothing to do with the needs of the regular people, who look down on regular people, who really never been a friend of working people, who's really never been a friend of black people, who actually pushed that stop and frisk so he can gain more money to the police department, gain more money for the city of New York, and not put it in the hands of the people by brutalizing and violating the rights of black and brown people, majority black, but also Hispanics and things like that. I don't give a crap what Mayor Bloomberg, you may care about that, Chris Cuomo, AKA Guido, whatever his name, Fredo. You care about that, but most Americans don't give a dog about what Mayor Bloomberg has to say. Whoop-de-doo, he said, well, it seemed like nobody's there can defeat Trump. Where do you get that from, bruh? Out of your wallet? You think just because you got just as much money as Trump that you can go against Trump? Trump will pummel you. He will pummel you. Trump has been more successful in business than you ever done in business, Bloomberg. And that's not caping for Trump. It's just a fact. Trump will spank. Let me keep going.
To defeat Trump. The Democratic nominee has to be properly armed for the onslaught that's coming. What does that mean? You've got to answer. Question number 2. Are you speaking?
All right, let's stop there. So he's saying that the person who's going to go against Trump got to go toe-to-toe, mouth-to-mouth with Trump. Well, we know certain people can do that. All right. Trump think he got the biggest mouth in the land. Trump is a New Yorker, and a lot of New Yorkers, you know, from Queens, and you grew up in that, during that area was 60, 70, and 80. You get a mouth, you talk a good game, but you can't back it up. Those are the people, if they take their butt to Harlem, they get their butt knocked out. So talking a good game don't have nothing to do with it, Cuomo. The problem is Hillary Clinton was a flawed candidate, and she couldn't talk the game, and he made her look stupid. But there's other people that could talk that good game. You want somebody to be come with a Ginsu and chop his head off. You want somebody to go ninja on Trump for your entertainment. That's not going to work, Cuomo, because the people don't care about that. Sure, it's entertaining, get you raises and make people laugh, but at the end of the day, what are you doing for me? What are you doing for the American people? Trump won because, number one, Hillary Clinton cheated Bernie Sanders, and everybody know it, and they wasn't going to vote for her, but that's another story. It wasn't his mouth. A lot of people who voted for Obama knew what the Democratic Party did against Bernie Sanders, and they said, ain't no way I'm going to reward evil with a prize. So they decided to either not vote, or they voted for Trump because he was the best thing, closest thing that they had. To some people, he was the lesser of the two evils, whether you want to believe it or not. He was the lesser of the two evils. In a lot of cases, he was. But let me keep going.
The language that America wants to hear right now. No offense, but again, this dense talk and sophisticated policy plans of $1 trillion here and $1 trillion there in 3 years versus 5, and I'm going to take your health care.
Nobody is saying that. And Cuomo, you need to get your head up out of your behind and get your butt out of your ivory tower and get out here in the field, because the people on the field want to know what you're going to do. So if you got to talk about what this is going to cost to get something for me, and where you're going to get, and who you're going to ring to get it, I want to hear that. If you say you're going to ring the rich to pay for the poor, I want to hear that, because the rich been getting money off the poor all day, every day. I want to hear that, bruh. I want to hear that. So I don't know where you're getting this stuff from, Cuomo. But your butt has been in your ivory tower. You've been spending too much time with your brother at the governor's office that you haven't been spending time with the people. You got your head so far up CNN's behind, it's ridiculous. Because we do. You're not a regular person. You're worth millions. Trump policies is really not no big deal to you. You don't think Trump would send you to the gallows if he was the next Hitler, because you good, because you're Italian and you're white and you got green eyes and you got a pretty smile. You're a pretty boy, pretty Ricky is what they call you. So you good, man. You don't care about that. You don't care about what we go through in the hood. You don't care about people paying $1,000 to stay in a room. You don't care about the housing crisis and how we need to put up more public housing. You don't care about people who are trying to make sure that their kids who are very smart can go to college without breaking the bank. You don't care about that, but the people do. And that's the language we want to hear. We don't want to hear all this stupid stuff going back and forth with Trump with insults. Get out of here.
This is about not being the rabid right. Do you do that if you are seen as an equal opposite of radical left?
So rabid right, radical left, there's no centric, bruh. Most of you highly paid, uppity Democrat, you third-way Democrats, are really what is considered the old right, the old Republican. That's what you became. There is no centric, there is no middle. So what the extreme left have to do is do whatever they can to pull your behind back over. Now me, I'm not going to waste my energy doing all that. I say start a third party. I say start a new party. Hillary Clinton can kiss my behind. I don't care who starts a third party. You need a third party. You need fourth party. You need multiple parties to put you guys at bay, to put you guys in a position where you got to bend to the will of the people, because if not, the will of the people is going to be done by one of the third parties. It is so needed.
Single payer or not, Medicare for all versus Medicare for all who want it. This is dense in times of determined simplicity. The Democratic governor-elect, okay, promised to protect Obamacare and the Medicaid expansion.
Well, the Democratic governor-elect ran on pretty much a progressive platform. Another reason why he barely won, and this is my problem right now, like I told you guys before, there's no decisive winning. See, people are put in a position where they're going to deal with an extreme right candidate or a right candidate. And if the Democrat in Kentucky, in Arkansas, in Nebraska, in Nevada, if the Democratic is a centric, a lightweight Republican, most of the time it's going to come to a close race. Lightweight Republican versus extreme Republican. It's going to be a close race. Oftentimes, they'll pick the extreme Republican over the lightweight Republican who's posing as a Democratic in a red state. But when you give them a left person with some policies that's going to benefit them, no matter what party is in, thank God for New York with drink choice voting, hallelujah, thank you. Then you'll get somebody that's willing to do the people. See, all you care about, Cuomo, is the Democratic Party getting a point on the scoreboard. What does that matter when your win-loss record is not going to give you a prize? Let me keep going.
Kentucky kept it simple, okay? He spoke the language of the local people.
All right, so Cuomo, what do you think about the Democrats that has been winning? A bunch of Democrats who the Democrat Party turned their back on, they picked their chosen one, neglected them. These same people went to our revolution, just as Democrat, and people I have my issues with, they went and ran on Bernie Sanders' platform, a progressive platform, and they won. You're going to count one victory out of all these other victories, bro. Get out of here. Remember where you are. You're in a red state. So, of course, he's going to win. Not on simplicity. It's because they believe a lightweight Republican may be a little bit different, a little bit better than extreme Republican. It has nothing to do with Democrat, has nothing to do with platform, it has nothing to do with that. They just got tired of an extreme right Republican, so they'd rather deal with a Republican in Democratic clothing. So it wasn't just that, Cuomo. And that was the only real true big win. The real big win was Kashama, I can't even say her name, up there in Seattle. How Jeff Bezos tried to dump a ton of money into that race, and it seemed like she lost, but when the mail-in ballots came in, she blew them away. So why don't you talk about that, Chris Cuomo?
Many of the Democratic candidates are talking about blowing up the entire system. To many, it sounds equally as crazy as what they're getting from Trump. Remember?
Who is the many? Cuomo, who have you talked to? You're just like Hillary Clinton. I got a lot of people trying to tell me I should run. Who are those lot of people? Neera Tanden, Robbie Mook, people who need a job? Because you look at your approval rate, nobody wants you to run. You are a guaranteed win for Trump, but we're going to get to that a little later. You're a guaranteed win for Trump, and it'll be disastrous. Nobody wants you for president, lady. Nobody wants you. You are a detriment, as Tulsi Gabbard said, you're a detriment to the party. You are a knife in the back of the party, and the party is already bleeding. Now, honestly, I want these two-party systems done. I want them crushed because we need to have something that's really for the people. But come on, bruh. You talking out of your behind, Chris Cuomo.
Remember, he kept it simple. Build a wall. Lock her up. I'm not endorsing.
That ain't what he did. He lied about policies. He said he was going to bring jobs back. He said he was going to get a health care just like our health care system like Scotland and Australia. He talked policies, Cuomo. I can go through the videos over and over again. He ain't just talk about build a wall and all that kind of stuff and calling people names. Trump lied. He knew Bernie got screwed, so he decided to take Bernie's platform and use it himself, and he got a lot of Democratic support. People who voted for Obama twice decided to vote for Trump. So you can't say there was racist. You can't say there was KKK. You can't say there was white supremacists. Most of these people thought, all right, so at least he's promising to do left policies as a Republican. At least he's talking about things that he's going to do for us. These numbnuts talk about the things they're not going to do for us, and that's what you're talking about. You want them to talk about things that they're not going to do for us and thinking that's going to win, fool, when it's not.
the ideas, but you're going to be up against them. And you're going to have to convince people that you have something better in a way that they can understand. If you're not going to take a page from the president, and I'm not saying that they should, you got to take one from that next governor of Kentucky.
Okay, so you're trying to say we need to listen to the governor of Kentucky and not all these people who ran on a progressive platform, $15 an hour minimum wage, make it easier for unions to get into companies, criminal justice, legalizing marijuana, no-cost education. All these things are platforms that more politicians have ran and won on than this one Kentucky person. So you want to use that as a template, thinking that we're going to beat Trump with that template. Do you realize the template that he used was the template that Trump used to win? But yet in the last few elections, it was the left policy planks, which they pretty much got from the Green Party, and instituted that, the Green New Deal and all that. That came from the Green Party. So they took the Green Party platform, made it part of their platform, Justice Democrats, Our Revolution, and they ran on that platform and they won. So you talking about this one little funky win compared to multiple wins on a policy platform that everybody loves.
Simplify, speak their language, speak
That is simplify. Let me keep going.
to their specific needs as they live them, not the potential of the future now. Question number 3, how do you translate?
All right, so let me stop here. Bruh, how you think most of the people been winning? They've been talking simple. $15 an hour minimum wage. Green New Deal. Like I said, they took this from the Green Party. Medicare for all. Not Medicare for all who want it. Not Medicare choice, but Medicare for all. Low cost education. That's simplify, bruh. That is simplify.
Voter turnout into reality at the polls. Virginia and Kentucky benefited from people coming out. We don't know the exact numbers yet, but we know they were up. Answer those questions and figure out how to be better, because that's why Bloomberg is getting in, and you may see more.
All right, so I'm back. First of all, Cuomo, we've been doing this for a while. You just come into the party, bruh. We already knew what it took we already know what you guys did for you guys to lose. I did a series on it called Dumb DNC Mistakes. Go and take a look at it. There's certain things that you guys done that caused Trump to win. First of all, running a centric candidate will cause Trump to win. Running on a candidate who says we can't do something when Trump is saying we can is a loser. Always talking about things that's not going to take care of the needs of the people, that you're going to so focus on your billionaire class, your oligarchs, your wealthy elite, which is not that many, the 1%, and not talking about the needs of the 99%. Trump talked about the needs of the 99%. He was lying through his teeth and his butt and his eyes and his ears, but at least he talked about it and gained some support. So come on, Cuomo. You talking about stuff that we already know. We know what's winning. Those Virginia races and Kentucky races and Alabama races, those are races that's too close. It was a centric Democrat, pretty much what I call a lightweight Republican Democrat versus an extreme Republican. Like I said before, when you run races like that, either they're going to be tight, they're not going to be a blowout, it's going to be a close race. And guess who always bring them up to over the hump to win it? It was black people. It wasn't Hispanic, love my Hispanic people, love my Native Americans, but it was black men and black women that came out because they didn't want the extreme right. And y'all think that playbook is going to always win. Well, it's either going to be the centric, the lightweight Democrat, the Democrat with lightweight Republican policies versus the extreme Republican. That's the choice we're going to give them. And if you black people don't come out and support, then it's your fault because we got the Trumps. It's your fault because we got this person and that person. No, if you guys run on policies that's going to really cater toward the needs of black people, you ain't got to worry about nobody getting out to vote. Now, You got to. I got to honestly tell you, and this is the truth. If you look at everyone that Bernie Sanders campaign, he had high turnouts. Well, except when he started off in Burlington for mayor. Bernie Sanders know how to get the high turnouts. Bernie Sanders started his own organization to raise up people to run for office. And those organizations are primarily focused on high turnouts. Bernie Sanders get a lot of people to come out to his rallies, 20,000, 10,000. It's not barely, it's not at a high school gymnasium most of the time. It's usually at the college gymnasium, but not a high school gymnasium you can't fill. It's not at the Denny's. It's not at the country fair. So I got to get it to the man. The man know how to get the turnout right. And if these people are inspired, you look at the numbers, Mr. Numbers Man, CNN, and you talk to everybody, you'll find out more people are excited about going to vote for him than any of these people you're talking about, including Bloomberg. Nobody's going out and voting for Bloomberg. And him coming into a race is just another wealthy elite trying to have a savior complex. And I agree with Bernie. Don't come here with that savior complex. Like I said, I got my differences and I got my strong issues against Bernie, but I'm not going to sit here and say I don't agree with him on some things. I agree with him on more things than not. And you think this is the reason why Bloomberg coming in, because you got a lot of people that's talking about doing things for the people, and that's confusing the people that they won't turn out for the vote. That's exactly what you're saying. Man, if you don't go sit your butt down somewhere and go do some real news. I mean, you and Anderson Cooper, y'all good friends. Y'all might be involved in a relationship. I don't know. Y'all kind of close, too close. Bosom buddies. At least when he started out, he was out there on the field, in the war fields, reporting. Rich boy, Vanderbilt, ain't got nothing to lose but his life because he got plenty of money. So, of course, he's not going to be worried about the needs of the people. He don't mind going out there. When you got that kind of money, you put yourself out there because your life is boring. What about you, bruh? What about you? You come from wealthy elite. You're not a Vanderbilt, but you're a Cuomo. New York legacy. And you talking this trash about what the people need. You need to talk to the people. You need to get in language where the people can understand. Man, you haven't been one of us in so freaking long. Hush your mouth. CNN needs to send you over to Greenland to do some special report, or you need to go to Denmark, you need to go to Scandinavia, you need to go somewhere and do some real reporting on the issues that they have that we're trying to fight for. We need to do anything to defeat Trump. No, we need to do more than just defeat Trump. That ain't the only thing we need to do, and this is the language you're trying to push. You're trying to say, talk about everything but the needs of the people. Don't advocate for the needs of the people. It's confusing to us because the language y'all talk, man, get out of here with that stuff. Boy, I'm telling you, they getting their money's worth after you puppet. I'm done, man. This is Rob Brown with the Rob Report. Man, go sit your behind down somewhere and go do some real news.
I guess that means you need to shut the fuck up. That's what I do. I would fuck up. Shut the fuck